Stock markets soar as Americans finally agree to fund their debt. We reveal the skyrocketing stock that's up, up and away. And the man who made finance fun is moving on. Trading Up, a collaboration by the West Australian and Grapher. Stock markets around the world took off today on news the Americans have struck a deal to fund their government's multi-trillion-dollar debt. US President Biden and his Republican adversaries have been squabbling for weeks about raising the debt limit to fund key government programs. Stock markets around the world are rallying on the news, with the ASX up 0.87%. Now, why was the debt ceiling a problem? Well, the US government risked not being able to pay its bills if a deal couldn't be reached to borrow more money. This would have caused financial markets to freeze up and potentially plunge us into another global financial crisis. Thankfully, President Biden got Republicans to agree to raise his government's $39 trillion, yes, trillion dollar overdraft to avert the crisis. And more good news from overseas today. A deal to reduce Chinese tariffs on Aussie exports is getting closer. Australia's Trade Minister Don Farrell said that talks with his opposite number in Beijing were going really well. One commodity hoping for a reprieve is Aussie barley, which may be the first cab off the ranks if the deal goes through. Australia used to make more than $1 billion a year from barley exports before it got slugged with an 80% import tax. And heads still continue to roll at PricewaterhouseCoopers following their tax advice scandal. A Perth partner of the firm may just be their white knight or sacrificial lamb. Justin Carroll has quietly taken up the chairmanship of the firm and is tasked with steadying the PWC ship. In the meantime, a prominent WA business person said PWC has blundered by letting the scandal slow burn. It's believed as many as 50 partners may have been involved in giving tax avoidance advice to high net worth clients. The issue here being that PWC was paid by the federal government to advise the government on tax reform. So in a nutshell, they are accused of leaking this confidential information to their clients. Still to come, we reveal another resources stock with a ballooning share price, and we pay tribute to Koshi as he announces he's leaving Sunrise. Stay tuned. ASX-listed oil and gas company Beach Energy is jumping into bed with the Belgians to compete for a license to develop wind projects off Victoria. European renewable energy firm Parkwind will take 75% of the new entity, with Beach owning the rest. The joint venture will compete with heavyweights such as Shell, Origin Energy, and Spain's Blue Float for the coveted licenses. ASX-listed nickel miner Mencore reported stronger than expected production at its Kambalda mine today. The Perth-based small cap says it's on track to produce 600,000 tonnes of ore earlier than expected. Twiggy Forrest owns 72.7% of Mencore and is looking to delist the company if he can get his hands on 90% of their shares. And it's been 21 years since he first appeared as host of Seven's breakfast show Sunrise, and now Koshi is finally calling it a day. The finance guru will step away from the Sunrise desk in 2 weeks. He will go down in history as Australia's longest-serving breakfast television host.
Look, I know I'm going to miss it enormously, but Sunrise has always been bigger than any one person. It just seems right to exit stage left on Friday next week. I will do so with enormous pride and gratitude, and thank you for having me. Back in a moment.
The breakfast host has recorded a record 16,000 hours of live TV, and he conducted over 50,000 interviews during his time on the show. So from one finance show to another, we at Trading Up salute you, Koshi, even if you do support Port Adelaide. There were some big movers on the markets today, with one of the biggest being Noble Helium. Their share price spiked on news it had agreed to a deal to fund drilling at its helium operations in Tanzania. The Perth-based small cap is banking on helium to be the next big thing. The gas is used in the production of nuclear energy and for quantum computing, so keep an eye on helium. You can find more business news content on thewest.com.au, or to see all the data and insights behind this video, check out grapher.com. Or you can download our app from the App Store. Thanks for joining me on this special episode of Trading Up. I'm Colin Ebsworth. We'll see you next time.